Hello everyone. I'm back. It's been over a month since my previous video where I asked people if they wanted to come and trial with me the Mark Chi School for kids who can't code good and want to learn to do other things good too. Um, it's been quite an interesting month so far. It started off with me being overwhelmed, very much so, by the response that I got. I got too many people interested in potentially doing some tutoring with me one-on-one or in small groups and things like that. All I actually did was take on about half a dozen. I think at most it got up to 8 people at one point. Uh, and but it's been interesting. I've been learning a bit about how I want to teach people one-on-one, how I've been teaching just via video chats and things like that, and it's sort of going well so far. It's going okay. I do have to apologize for all the other people who signed up, who a lot of you I haven't even responded to yet, and I do very much apologize for that. It got bigger than I expected, quicker than I expected, and I think with all things like this, when that kind of thing happens, you've kind of got to change your plans a bit. So that's what this video is about. I want to tell everyone about how my plans have changed for the Mark Chi School. So what I thought I needed to do was, rather than attempt to teach, I think it was over 60 people one-on-one. I don't think that's possible. I don't have the time for that. I also don't want to spend that much time. Like, working 60 hours a week is not really the lifestyle that I'm after right now. So instead, I am building up some new options for people to work with me at sort of lower levels of participation. So not all one-on-one or anything like that. And so I'm starting that off with what I'm doing tonight, which is the launch of a Patreon attached to my YouTube channel and a Discord that I'm starting up. So this combo of things is going to allow people to get involved with the Mark Chi School at whatever level they want. So if where you want to be is just watching YouTube videos and getting my content from there, more power to you. They're right here. You can watch them as much as you want. I love it when you watch them lots, right? Like, the whole YouTube thing is to try to get a lot of views and things, so, no problems there. Like and subscribe. I had to say it. I think I'm actually a YouTuber now, so I think I actually need people to like and subscribe in a way that I didn't before. And then I'm going to have a Patreon where you have different levels of amounts of money you would like to give me. So there's a level where you just like to support me and my lovely cat, who is not here right now. I was just checking if she was in the room, but not here right now. But you want to buy her a meal once a month or something like that, or buy me a small portion of a meal or a drink or something once a month, you can support me there. That'd be really nice. But if you're actually in this for learning about programming and things like that, you can put more money in and following along with the videos that I'm going to be releasing. So I'm going to be ramping up my release schedule soon. I'll talk about that in a moment. If you'd like to do that, you can sign up for the Patreon. You get put on a Discord, and in that Discord you can ask me questions about coding and things like that, and I can help you out with anything attached to the videos and the content. I'm also going to be writing up a few documents and things like that there that you can get access to, that give you more detail than the videos that I have will have in them. So you can choose your level. The highest level is actually being able to have one-on-one sessions with me. That's one a month for Patreon, because Patreon bills monthly, so I might as well do it like that. If you would like to work with me on a closer scale than once a month, you can get in contact with me either via the Discord or actually the Discord's the easiest way. I mean, I guess you could comment here on YouTube and I'll check it out as well, so then I'll be able to get in touch with people. So what are my plans for the near future? So I have one thing that I'm definitely doing over the next, I don't know how long we're going to be on this. My guess is 3 months-ish. Potentially more than that though, because what I want to do with this first course is, I think what people would probably expect from me to start off with is introducing people to programming from scratch. So if you have no prior experience, no ability with programming, or you feel really rusty with it, you've touched on it, but you're not really like super like in tune with it, you haven't sort of moved on to the next steps of learning how to code and things, I'm going to be going through the first steps. So I'm calling the series Getting Started with Programming, and my plan is build everything up from the fundamentals. So not just learning to code, but learning how computers work and learning about the overall idea about what is computer science, and going through that. Obviously leveraging a lot of the stuff that I've taught in the past and a lot of the skills I've built up for kind of onboarding beginners as much as I can. So that there'll be at least one of those videos released alongside this one, or at least a day or two afterwards. And I'm going to launch into a project because I like to do I like to have everything with a kind of a focus and a context. So a couple of friends and I have just started playing Dungeons and Dragons again. So I haven't played it in years, I think, and we've just kind of fired up a new campaign and things. And just looking at it, looking at the system, I thought, we could do a kind of a simulator for part of Dungeons and Dragons. Don't expect me to do a full game simulator in a beginner's course, right? But I was looking at like the sort of combat situation where you've got a square grid and you can move around on that. We can do that kind of thing with basic programming skills. And I was thinking about rolling attributes, rolling dice for skills, and all this kind of stuff works into that basic programming capability, basic working with numbers and working with like data structures for characters and for the world and for enemies and maybe even spells and stuff like that. Don't expect a full-blown thing, but at least a fair bit of it we could put together, and we're going to piece it together bit by bit as we go through the next few months. I've chosen Python as a programming language for this. I think it could be interesting because it's quite a prevalent language. A lot of people are interested in learning it. Also, I've worked with a lot of C-based languages before. I'd say my native language is probably C++ native language. You know what I mean? Programming languages I've worked with the most. And I've taught a lot of C and C# as well, but C# I'd say I'm quite rusty with. So I think it's going to be really interesting me going through Python, because there'll be all these really funny bits where I'm just like, okay, it works like this and like this. And then I'll realize Python just has a function that does it. So it's kind of good for me. I'm going to be learning at the same time as I'm teaching. And it might be an interesting perspective. I always find that when I was teaching people how to teach, that the thing that was most interesting is the people taught well who really remembered the struggle of teaching. So if you're interested, that'll be the first thing that I'm working on. But in parallel and potentially afterwards, I have a series of other possible videos that I'm going to work on. So I've been teaching one or two of my individual weekly students data structures and algorithms. So fun things like sorting algorithms, trees and graphs and things like that. Traversal of node-based structures and things. I think that's kind of fun. For me, in computer science, it's always been the side of it that I've liked, which is this kind of thing where you go, we could do this whole thing on a whiteboard. We don't even have to code this. This is all this kind of abstract structures and stuff. And it's kind of fun. I've always gotten into the kind of the side of computing that's shying further away from the silicon, so it's nearly like applied mathematics rather than computing. And so I was thinking of doing a few videos there. I have a couple of other topics that I have possible preparations and stuff, but I'm gonna talk about this stuff later. I'll probably post it on the Patreon and let anyone who's on the Patreon vote on what they want to see next on the YouTube channel. That'll be a nice reward for people who are going to help me out. So hopefully, where I'm trying to get to with this is with however much money I can make on Patreon added on to my weekly regular students. Hopefully I'm just trying to carry this towards actually making a genuine living out of teaching people programming, but not necessarily in an institution in a much more sort of free-form manner. I think I was always kind of inclined that way anyway. I think I was always, even when I was teaching for the two big institutions that I taught for, that it was, I always felt looser than the institutions themselves were, and so there was always a grating between me and them in the way I wanted to work. And so I'm going to try now to work my way and see how it goes. So thank you for coming along, and thank you for watching this video so far. There is a link to the Patreon in the description of this video. By the time this video launches, the Patreon will already be live, so you can sign up if you want to. For anyone who does sign up, thank you so much. It means a great deal to me to know that if I'm going to be doing this and going to be making these videos and helping people, that some people also want to help me in return. And hopefully what you pay for with that, you actually get value out of it. So I will be able to help you personally and things like that. So I think that's everything that I wanted to say here. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for those of you who have been on this crazy ride with me. I mean, some of my students who I first taught, I think it would have been 2016 or so, when I first went full-time. Wait. Yeah, 2016. I think it was when I first went full-time as a teacher. And the people I taught at the very beginning, I think it was like 2001 or something like that. I don't know how many of you are still around, how many of you who learned from me back when I was a tutor at UNSW will actually need my help anymore for teaching. But anyway, so yeah, that's where we're at. Patreon has launched. Hopefully you're interested in taking part. I've got some goodies on the Patreon, actually. I'm putting some stuff there in advance, some old lecture slides from courses that I've taught previously. Courses that are actually here on the channel that you can watch. And there will be upcoming videos launching my kind of getting started program. So if you want to be part of that, it will be running basically weekly videos. As much as I can do weekly videos, I'll try to do weekly videos that will try to pace the release schedule for how much time I expect people would want to put into learning programming if they're doing something else full-time, you know. And that will be the kind of the direction that the Mark Chi School for kids who can't code good and want to do other things good too takes for the moment. So you choose your level of interaction with the school. And if you're interested in actually learning one-on-one from me, get in contact with me. That'll be via the Discord. Or as I said before, drop a comment here, that's also fine. Yeah, so thanks very much. Link will be in the description for the Patreon, and more videos will be arriving very soon. See you around.